Marvel Rivals 8.5. What are we feeling? What are we doing? What do you think? Friends, enemies, and others. That's my cat. We're talking about Marvel Rivals, and I'm currently stanced up in the funniest way possible. You can't see it. Let's talk. Now, Season 8.5 is the second season of Marvel Rivals I've actually played. I started in Season 8 because for the longest time, I wasn't able to play the game for several reasons, including personal life issues, but I finally got into it because I felt like I would always enjoy it, and it's safe to say that I do, and I still really enjoy the game, despite having quite a few criticisms for it now that I am in the game. My first criticism, actually, is one that many people have made. Why are there so many DPS? Listen, as a tank enjoyer, it's a little annoying. And I feel even worse for the support players, because if they don't play the same, 4 characters, it'll just go bad. It's almost as bad for tank, but tank's got a little more diversity with it. One of my opinions is that tank's probably one of the best balanced roles in the game. I don't know how people would feel about that, but that's just my opinion at the very least. Now, one thing I wanted to touch on in this video is my favorite characters in each role. Now, this is not best. I am not in any position to say who are the objectively best characters in this game. Pro players and players on incredibly high ranks, they can't agree. So I don't feel like my opinion really matters that much here. But I do want to say who are my favorites to play, because that's fun, and I feel like some people would definitely enjoy hearing that from someone who's a little more of a casual player, a reflection of the player base rather than somebody who plays the game for a living. Somebody who is almost encouraged by the nature of content creation and the game itself to play in meta. Someone who would put their own joy aside to play a better character. That doesn't apply to all content creators and all pro players and all ranked players, but it's just something that I want to kind of throw my own take on as an antithesis to such a thing. Now, as I mentioned before, I'm a tank enjoyer. I love playing tank. Tank's really fun for me. So, before anything else, I think I'll explain why I like tank personally. And the big reason is that you're always in the paint. You're in the mud. You're constantly doing things. I don't really enjoy, hit scans that much, for example. Not only because I'm not that good with hit scan, but also because I feel like I'm not doing anything a lot of the time. Kind of just sitting in the back, shooting them down. Now, obviously, there's a lot more nuance to how hit scans work, but at the end of the day, whether you're playing Hela, Phoenix, or anybody else, you're doing the same thing. And to me, it becomes a little boring, a little repetitive, and it's just not really my vibe. Tank, on the other hand, you're in that shit constantly. You also have a very big pull on whether a game is won or lost. Now, obviously, every role has that to an extent, and honestly, there's a good argument for any of the 3 roles having an important role, but at least with my personality and what I enjoy doing, tank fits me best. Now, who are my favorite tanks in this game? The first one that comes to mind is one of the characters that I think is most fun in the game, which is the Thing. Now, the Thing's a little weird because he's pretty much designed to be good in lower ranks. At least that's what I've heard from people who are in higher ranks, that he becomes worse as you climb upwards. Which I can see being the case, because he is very simple. His entire gameplay loop is that's it. That's the gameplay loop. You don't do anything else. And while I find that very fun, I definitely can see how that would end up not being as good when other players know more of what they're doing. Another character in the tank role that I really love is Devil Dinosaur. Now, Devil received a very big nerf at the beginning of Season 8.5, but honestly, he's still good. I don't think he's actually bad by any means. I do wish he had his knockdown still, but that's just purely because flyers piss me off and I wish I had more ways to deal with them. More than anything, fun. I like fun characters. Then we have Captain America. Now, what are your thoughts on America? Yeah, I know. But Captain America, super fun in this game. I love how he doesn't die. He's such an interesting and enjoyable character, and honestly, he would probably be my favorite tank if it wasn't for the fact that I hate this fucking design with a burning passion. I really don't like it. I don't like how he looks. I'm sorry. Then we have Magneto. Now, Mag is a character who's often forced by the fact that tank players are an endangered species, but honestly, I think he's pretty fun. The only thing about him is how basic he is. He has this. This is his gameplay loop. Repeat. And in my opinion, that is a little boring, but I find it fun just because he's good enough to make it fun, if that makes sense. Honorable mention to Rogue, too. I like playing Rogue a lot. I just don't think I'm good enough with her to make the excuse of playing her, so I don't. My favorite in the DPS role is Bucky. Bucky's really fun. I really enjoy him. He's just got a gameplay loop that hits my monkey brain really good. I like him a lot. Honorable mention here to Cyclops. Now, I made a short a little while back when Cyclops first came to the game, talking about how I didn't think he was, like, completely busted, and I didn't think his mobility-focused kit was a bad thing for the character. Now, I want to focus on both of those things, because my opinion has changed. His numbers are too high. You gotta put him down a little bit. But that's all, in my opinion. I don't think he's so broken that he completely needs to be nerfed to the ground. I don't think this is the Black Cat situation. I don't think this is even an Elsa situation. At least in my opinion, and people very much so overreacted to the ult. It's not that good. In fact, I think I've had more games where the ult does pretty much nothing than games where the ult actually makes a difference and is actually scary. At least in my opinion. Maybe it's really bad in some games. But based on my experience, it's really not that bad. Just tone down his kit a little bit, maybe give him some more damage drop off, and I think he'd be just fine. I don't think he's nearly as bad as some people are saying he is, but yeah, he's a little OP. Just a little bit, though. The second part on his mobility-focused kit, most people haven't really talked about that other than the fact that giving a poke character a lot of mobility is kind of annoying, which I do agree with, but purely from the character standpoint, this is the best thing you could have done with Psyche, other than giving him kind of like an explosion-based power set, which I feel like could have worked, but since we're almost definitely getting Jubilee within the next 2 seasons, I could understand wanting to reserve the explosions for the girl that makes fireworks, or unless, I don't know, they bring Boom Boom in for some reason. And then for support, honestly, I don't like support. I don't like playing support at all. I just feel like... number one, I'm not very good at the role, so I feel like I'm almost kind of letting my team down whenever I have to fill support. But then there's also the fact that I just don't like the gameplay loop of most supports. When I do play support, I usually play White Fox or Rocket, and they are decently fun, and when I first started the game, I really liked Mantis, but Mantis just isn't really able to pull her own weight that well, so I don't really feel comfortable playing with her all the time. But I might get back into her, actually. With those opinions on each role and the characters I like most in each role down, I want to give just some overall thoughts on this season, because a lot of people have been saying that they really, really don't like this season. This is Marvel Rivals at its worst, that the balancing's dog shit. I don't really agree, honestly. Now, obviously, I haven't been in the trenches, and maybe this is just like some kind of honeymoon phase, but for as much as I criticize the game, a lot of my criticisms ended up being my fault. I, for a long time, was hard-locked silver, and I realize now, I think that's just because I was kind of bad. And now that I've gotten better through just playing the game more, I am slowly starting to climb up, even if it's just a little bit. So, my main complaint about the matchmaking being so bad I couldn't climb, I take it back. And I never said it on film, so I could just take that out of the video if I wanted to pretend that I always was super good. But I'm not, and I'm going to be honest about that fact. I do agree that based off people's descriptions, it does seem like there is some irreverent problems in the game. Not even just with individual characters, but the roles those characters fill. The fact that we've had so many broken dive and so many broken poke characters definitely makes me go, I see why people feel like the meta doesn't change. Because, yeah, a bunch of other characters do go in and out of meta, but it feels like just when you have these, like, Mount Rushmore pillars of instant bans or required to plays, it kind of makes the whole game worse for everybody. That's one thing about broken characters I don't think everyone gets into their brain. It's not just bad from a balancing perspective because they're broken. It's bad for people who like the character's kit because they're not allowed to play the character. Either the character's banned or they're forced to play them. And there's a good chance if they are broken, someone already played the character and you can't play them anyways. So if you like Gambit's base kit, shame. Because when you play Gambit, you have to ult farm. You don't even get to enjoy his base kit at all. Because that's not what people use his character for. Oh, you like the gameplay loop of Phoenix? You like her mobility or whatever? Shame. Shame, man. L, bro. L. No one cares, bro. You don't get to play her. It's bad for the fans of the characters from the comics. It's bad for the casuals. It's bad for the balancing of the game. So, yeah, it's kind of just bad all around. They need nerfed. Desperately. Now what are you doing? That's what I thought. So yeah, I completely agree that there are some balancing problems, but I do feel like the community might be exaggerating a little bit with the balancing being so bad that they talk like they don't enjoy the game, and I question why they are forcing themselves to play it if they really dislike the balancing that much. But I get it. It's been stagnant, and I definitely haven't played the game long enough to have a full understanding of how annoying that can be. So, my condolences. I hope they do keep that in mind, but I feel like it's a little exaggerated, in my opinion. Hello. Why are you on my chair? Well, this was an unscripted video, so sorry if the rant didn't really go anywhere, but if you enjoyed, press like. I'm going to spend the next probably hour or something editing this. Sayonara. Have a good one. I don't know, feel fantastic. I love Marvel, bro. You wanna... What was that the joke that came to mind? The joke that came to my mind was, do you want to tag team Captain Marvel? And that's crazy. I take it back fully, but it's too funny to not say. I apologize. My apology will be out shortly, I swear.